So Imogen and Ryan, continuing our little series of how to get your children more active in your classroom space. So today we're doing active literacy.
Yes.
We've covered maths. We've done just active blasts. We've done active
registration.
So now we're on to literacy. So if you haven't seen those, then try and find it because it's brilliant. But today we're focusing on active literacy.
Yeah.
And the reason we're trying to get the subjects more active is that one, they do a lot of sitting down, particularly in literacy. So what we need to do is try and weave in this lovely activity to help focus, to help behaviour, to help just mental health and well-being, and just to get them stronger. So they are able to function, do daily activities better as they grow older. It's just really easy to do. So should we crack on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice one.
So typically, you know, as a teacher, we see that English or literacy tends to be one of the most sedentary lessons that's there, because obviously formally it's so much written down, isn't it? The work is so much written down, or reading. So it tends to just be conducive to a seated environment. Yeah. But when we start to look at it through that lens of being active at the same time, we see areas throughout the whole formation of literacy and English language learning that can be active. And it starts at the very root with active phonics. Yeah. Because if you think about it, children learn sounds through connecting memories and through connecting pictures, and also through connecting actions. Yeah. And a lot of the time it's done on cue cards, but why can't those things be turned into actions? Yeah. It's medically,
not just little actions,
big actions. Yeah, it's been medically and scientifically proven that children's memories connect so much better when it's tied into movement. Yeah. So at the very foundation of language through phonics, doesn't it make sense to connect that with these big movements so that it comes much more naturally to them? And when children are at that age, when they're learning phonics at that age, they will get so much more enjoyment out of the repetitive nature of what phonics needs to be if they can bring movement into it at the same time. All of a sudden you'll find children sort of skipping to and from school, you know, doing the actions that you associate with some of the sounds. Yeah. So whatever phase you are on with the phonics, take a look at that particular sound or the flashcard that has the picture or the image of whatever goes with it, and associate it with an action a big action that the children can do at the same time. Yeah. And they will start to do that when you are not around. And the impact is not only are they being active, but they are then willingly repeating the things that we need them to practice over and over again to become.
Because they're enjoying the movement so much, they're actually just practicing their
it's
phonics.
Learning for free. They don't realise they're practicing their phonics. They just think they're doing something fun. And we're saving lots of time because they will be progressing through those steps much quicker.
And your foundations and your fundamentals are just done more quickly and they're embedded quickly because of it. Yeah. You know, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, it's easy.
So another favourite of ours is active adverbs.
Adverbs, yeah.
And that is brilliant, isn't it?
Come on, quickly. It's adverb. Sorry,
adverb, just throwing it in there. Yeah. So you would say, let's skip enthusiastically. Yeah. And then you and your partner would go off and skip enthusiastically. Yeah. Or you would box elegantly.
Yes, yeah.
The more ridiculous, the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you'll have a list of movements and a list of adverbs, and then all you would do is choose one from each list, and then off you go. And each pair in the class, we work in the absolutely hysterical because some of the things they're doing are ridiculous, but it's a really good way to get them up, and just as a nice kind of understanding of what an adverb is, and then at the end of well, this is the plenary of our learning,
and works really nicely in a classroom. You can do this very easily in a classroom setting without changing the layout of any of your room. But if you ever have chance to do this in a hall space, if you do have access to a hall space, massively recommend doing it as almost like a spotlight lesson on something. Doing it in a hall space gives people that opportunity to really spread out and really go big guns on some of the actions as well. And it's almost a bit like Simon Says. You know, play a game of Simon Says, but play it with your active adverbs. Yeah. And you go, well, if I say an adverb do the action as well.
Yeah.
So it connects with the creation of some adverbs and acting it out, but then also them recognizing, has he just said an adverb or has he said something else as well? Has it? Oh, ha ha.
Yes.
He's just said a preposition. Ha ha. I ain't moving a foot, my friend. Not a single foot.
Oh,
no, preposition. Let's go. Let's go.
Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of how we're constantly assessing.
Yeah.
For understanding, see if the kids have got it. So you are building in that really fun game of them being able to do so many different actions connected with a various range of adverbs that connect to those verbs.
Yeah.
And then throwing the curveball in of doing almost like a Simon Says sort of game with it as well, where you only move if you recognise that it actually is an adverb.
It's a nice little twist, that.
Yeah.
Well done. So a choose between, again, we talked about this in maths, but an example of a choose between that you could do for your literacy is informal and formal speech, which is hilarious.
Yeah. That what? That's my formal speech.
All right, love.
All right. Yeah.
Anyway, so formal could be if they hear some informal speech, they might do like a hip hop dance or something like that, something quite cool. And if it's formal, they'd be marching on the spot in a square or walking around the room, or if you've got the hall space. And so that's a really nice way to bring in a choose between aspect to a class.
Yeah.
That is, again, you could use it as a challenge. You could use it as well, what do they know about this already?
Or if it matches a context of something, because if they're writing a letter or an email to a business, then we could say out loud a range of words, and they have to do a certain action if they're hearing the formal words, which should be the words of choice to go into the written letter, or if it's an informal word, which is one that they will bin off to the side. So it's a way to get them to sort of get the cogs turning in their brain to go, is that formal? Is it informal? And does it fit within the context of what I'm trying to write as well?
That's really nice. So the choose between you can use everywhere, can't you? You're just using your body to answer. Is it A or is it B?
Yeah.
And you can be as creative as you want to be with that.
Yeah. There's an action for everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
There?
Yeah. So storytelling is an obvious one. So dramatising books, dramatising poems, paragraphs, pieces of speech or whatever. I mean, the younger ones really get going with this, don't they? Because they've got no inhibitions. Year sixes, not so much. But for the younger ones, it's a really nice thing to do, isn't it? To kind of...
And it's a bit more, it's something that you would expect to see anyway within foundation stage and within early key stage 1. You get to see a lot more active learning built into it. And what I really want you to do is I want you to take some of the expertise and the practice that are put in place naturally in foundation and in early key stage 1. And still apply it when you move through into key stage 2. Because just because those kids are older doesn't mean that they won't actually get something from it as well. So dramatising any kind of reading and putting actions out, even if you just attached 1 or 2 actions to specific words. So if you knew you were reading something, I mean, we've just been looking at Macbeth, right, in year 6. So we've been reading through the chapters of Macbeth. Every time Macbeth's name is mentioned, we could be attaching an action to that. So as a class, as we're reading it out, they're actually spotting for that moment. I did something similar in maths when we were doing about degrees, and every time I said 360 degrees within the class, they all had permission to stand up, do a full spin and sit back down again.
Brilliant.
So they were listening intently for the whole lesson because they're waiting for that key word that's attached to an action.
Nice.
So you can do that within your storytelling, and it can be on your feet or it can be something that because sometimes your class, you need them to stay a little bit calmer. Sometimes they come in the morning and you're like, this isn't the day to do vigorous activity. This is the day to do gentle activity. So rather than it being a story yoga where it's up and it's on your feet and it's out loud, I like to do seated theatre.
Oh, tell me more.
And seated theatre is the exact same thing, but it's just actions from your chair. Instead. So it means that you don't have the logistical changes within the classroom because everyone still stays within their seats, but there's still an action attached. Or you could read a poem and you can still be adding sort of actions to whatever words you are reading. Or you could have set actions to particular words that everyone needs to react to.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Yeah.
We do one with the bullying rap or the friendship rap, which is really nice, and it's a poem to with a backbeat, which really good for the older kids as well. And so they would get into little groups and they'd all learn the same poem, and whether it be about bullying or friendship or whatever you're doing, but they're learning it in rhythm to the music, which is great for motor skills and things like that. And they're putting their own like kind of spin on it. So they'll be acting out the poem with their little group, and it's ticking so many boxes, because not only you're talking about bullying, which is a very dry subject, or whatever, so you can really kind of jazz up a really dry subject with something like this, particularly bullying, because it can be quite a dry subject, can't it? Really hard to get over.
A lot of the time with bullying, as it stands at the moment, a lot of the time with bullying is that it's just children listening to what they shouldn't do.
Yeah, and
listening to what they should do, and then you need to.
This is like a role play, isn't it? It's like understanding how it feels and all that kind of thing. So, you can bring activity into anything, not just literacy, but anything. So hopefully we've ticked a few boxes for you today in terms of our ideas. We've got so many, we could just go on for weeks, but there's a few, and hopefully you'll be able to go away and have some fun with that. But next time we're talking about active science. So I love science.
Yeah. Get your Bunsen burners out. Like, too early, isn't it? Too soon.
Don't do that.
No.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next time.